Alright, good evening, and I want to talk to you about my 3/4 inch scale Star Wars build. I'm going to try and make it short. First off, why am I building one? Well, 1UP came up with a Star Wars cabinet a few years ago, as you know. I missed out. And they have since re-released it, but I'm not going to buy the new one. And that's because in between that span of time, I started building my own cabinet. And the more I looked at it, the more I realized that while the 1UP cabinet, it kind of looks the part, it's missing a lot of features that the original cabinet has that the 1UP version does not. And so that was kind of disappointing to me. Even the shape is different of the actual cabinet. It's similar, but it's different. And I'll show that to you later on. Let me show you the piece that they simply do not have on their cabinet. And that's this. Now I made this. This is part 3D printed, part saw cut, and parts of it I cut out on my laser and I glued this together. And I'm pretty happy with it. It's turned out pretty good. It's not done yet because I've got to smooth it down and make it look like it is one piece. So here it is. I'm pretty happy with how it's turning out. Now, if I were going to make hundreds or thousands of these, I would have not made it this way. It would have been too slow. If I was 1UP, and if they're going to come out with a professional cabinet, I hope they're doing this, I would have vacuum formed that piece because it would have been really cheap. Out of 4x8 sheet of plastic, you could probably get about 6 bezels, and the plastic's really cheap. They could use a PETG or a styrene, and that's only about $20 a sheet. And it's not like injection molding. The tooling for the actual mold is way cheaper. It's not in the thousands or $20,000 to create a tooling mold. You can create a buck, we call it a buck, for a couple $100, maybe a couple thousand for something like this. If that. I'm sure it's less expensive where they're getting the parts. Now I'm going to show you, because I have a vacuum former, I have two, but I'm going to show you my little guy here. I can raise it up. I use this for small parts. Now I worked at a company where I was one of the fabricators, the plastic fabricators, and we did vacuum forming all the time. Really easy, really cheap. So we call this a buck. Could be anything. It's just the shape that you want to copy. You would have a piece of plastic right here, thin piece of plastic. Now that can actually be pretty thick. Can be thicker than an 1/8 of an inch. In any case, there's a heating element under here that heats up. Once that heats up, it makes this plastic soft. And then a vacuum turns on and you pull that down, the plastic goes on top of this and copies it. And then it cools off. You pull off the plastic and it's made a copy of this. You cut it out and you're good to go. I wish 1UP would have done that because, like I said, it's cheap, it's cost effective, and it's fast. But they didn't, and hopefully they do if they come out with a deluxe version or a pro version or whatever they are calling it. And that's how I would have done it if I was going to make a bunch of them. But since I was just making one, and this is kind of a prototype, I just made one for myself. I may make another one if I decide to make a bigger Star Wars cabinet. Now there is one reason I can think that they did not do this. And because I'm making a 3/4 inch scale cabinet, the monitor size was going to have to be a little bit smaller with this design. But I'm okay with that because I just want the machine to look closer to the original cabinet. In any case, let's go put this on my 3/4 scale cabinet as it is so far, see how it fits, and then I will be pulling it off and finishing it. And that's going to entail a little bit more sanding and coating it with the material so it looks like one piece. And I will show you what I use for that. It's kind of one of the tricks or things that I've learned. Whoa! Almost fell off there. So let's go take a look. And I hope you enjoy this video. I'll mention it again, but you're welcome to follow me on this process. Thank you. See you in a minute. Okay, so I apologize for the lighting and microphone. This is a different camera, but I wanted to show you. I just dry fitted it on. I have a few more things to do. That is where the Glenn's flight stick is going to go. Now, one concession I had to make is, because this is 3/4 scale, the flight stick takes up more area here. And there's more to do here, because the flight stick is actually raised up a bit, and then there's actually some more parts that have to go over here if I'm going to try and match the original arcade. But other than that, it's looking pretty good. You'll have to tell me what you think. I already got the speakers, and the next part, as you can see, is going to be probably the front coin door. See my big mess here? Anyway, this is a really fun project, and honestly, I'm not sure what I'm going to do after I do this one. I do have a gazillion projects in mind. It might be an arcade, it might be something else. Anyways, this is where we are so far, and I'm pretty happy with it. Anyway, if you want to continue to see more of what I'm doing here, I will be coming out with another video shortly in the future, and so you can subscribe if you want to know when that pops up. Thanks again.